yours. Let me share this link to Facebook and we'll get to chatting. All right. Welcome back, y'all. Another episode of Live from Mississippi on Saturday night. Let me get everything set up on this tripod here. Got old 3 legs here. Y'all, I had to hunt old 3 legs. I had went I went down there and filmed. I'm gonna pull it on up close for a little bit. Mama may come out here in a minute. She's in there. She cooked hamburgers inside. Let me explain to y'all. I have refrained from filming cooking during these wet periods. We have had rain for like 3, 4 days, on and off, a lot of rain. I mean, we've had 4 or 5 inches of rain total. We probably had 2 inches today. Um, the flies get horrible out here. And y'all, it just, to me, my personal opinion, that may not bother y'all, not one bit. But it looks awful to be trying to film cooking something and the flies just a laying it. I can't handle it. I'm gonna just tell you I tell you what does it gets me aggravated. So instead of me fighting flies out here cooking, y'all forgive me for a little bit. It really ain't the outside. It ain't the heat. The flies are in the house. I mean, they're everywhere, and they're worse out here, obviously. But I don't want to cook with flies flying around. So Mama cooked hamburgers inside tonight, and she's gonna bring hamburgers. Of course, I had to fight the flies to eat them out here, but maybe I can pull that off. So, uh, good to see all of y'all. I mean, I see comments all coming in. Um, so y'all be aware, we could quite possibly hit 50,000 subscribers this week. If you've been following the lives, I have not mentioned this anywhere else. We're going to give away the Bowie knife. I need to go get that knife and let y'all take a look at it. And I explained that I'm going to pull names from comments in the previous couple of weeks worth of videos is how you're going to be entered. So, if you're not hadn't been commenting on regular videos, probably not going to be entered to win. Oh, that's where I'm going. But that way, I get people in a knife drawing that actually watch the channel. That is my thinking. I don't want to give some knife away to somebody that don't even watch the channel. I mean, it don't make good sense. I just ain't gonna do it. Let me get. I got. Lord help. I didn't know I had all them calls and messages. All that stuff comes up on my iPad as well as my phone. Y'all, I keep it on silent. I've been listening to Mountain Man stories. I have been listening to the Preacher series by William Johnstone. And that's what I've been listening to, making knives. It has put me, it helps me get in my knife making frame of mind. I just tell you, I have to be in a mood to do something and be decent at it. I mean, I can do it anyway, but to be decent at something, I got to be in that frame of mind. And I'm fixing to go back to doing some of my forging. I want to make several different things. I have knocked out a bunch this week of knives that I owed people. Oh, John Newton, your knife is in the mail as of today. I was going to ship them day before yesterday. Well, our little town shuts down. Well, I don't know if it was shut down Thursday. It was pouring down rain. I don't know. Anyway, I didn't get them out Thursday. I think it's next Thursday our little town shuts down for Fair Day. Then we had a holiday yesterday. The mail didn't run, and so I went today to put them in the mailbox. So let me get my live chat pulled up from wow. Oh, there it is. There it is. Whoa, it's talking at me. I don't need that. Let me get. But anyway, I did get a bunch of knives knocked out that I had promised people, owed people, stuff I had horse traded for, and I liked a horse trade. A horse traded for a, ACC crappie sticks fishing pole. Uh, I traded for something else. And then, I traded for Brody's starter with my neighbor down here at Prestige Power Sports. He put a starter on Brody's four wheeler and said, "Hey, I just want to thank you, Sandra. Thank you so much, Sandran. How do I pronounce that? I see Sandran. Is it Sandra N or Sandra? I'm butchering names. But anyway, I William had put a starter on Brody's little four wheeler when it messed up, and then he helped me diagnose my Jeep and order me some parts. He's working on my four wheeler, which I'm not in a hurry for. It ain't one of them things like he pulled it in there and it's. I mean, he's just working on it when he's got some free time because we swapping out stuff and doing some trading out on it. He's getting some wheels and tires off of it for another four wheeler because I don't need wheels and tires, but on one that runs. So that's why I understand he needs to work and be making money. So I hadn't been like, hey, hurry up, finish before with it. But I think it's drivable now. He's gonna pull and swap the whole rear end axles, all that out where I've got the one that's got working brakes on it because that's an important thing because y'all know Brody's gonna wind up on that four wheeler at some point. I mean, he's a boy and let's face it, it's gonna happen. So it needs brakes on it. For me, I don't really need the brakes. I put around now. I mean, I used to be wide open everywhere. Now I'll put around, do what I'm gonna do, but Brody ain't gonna put around. So Sandra Ann, thank you. I just wanted to be clear. I don't like butchering people's names, but on these names, I mean, this is all I have to go on. And it's it's hard for me sometimes to just like, names on people's car tags. You sit there behind them at the red light going, guessing at different stuff. So I would like to, have it right. I don't want to insult anybody, not on a purpose, no way. So anyway, good to see all. Oh, y'all, look at here. You sitting down or you going back in? I get my plate and my tea. Look at here. Look at here. She done whacked it in half. Look at that. Them right there, them's jalapeno peppers that we growed, and that's oh, we fixing it right here. I gotta keep it in my lap though because the flies will totally slam off. Yes, Miss Jennifer Ocean Homestead said hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. Another thing, y'all, just on general principle videos, and I know most of y'all here do this, but if you don't hit the like on a video at least alone, it'll quit showing them to you and you won't never see me again. I mean, that's just the way that algorithm works. You hit that like button, that thumbs up deal, that tells the algorithm, hey, I like this person's videos. You ain't got to necessarily like every detail about that video. We may even disagree on something in that video. 9 times out of 10, we all human, we gonna disagree on some stuff. Okay. I'm gonna do some things the way you'd do it different. But that don't mean we mad at one another. If you generally like the most of what we do here, hit the like button. Now, by all means, don't hit it if you hate me and don't want to watch another one of my videos. Don't hit. You'd be a lying, and I don't want you doing that because that's what you do. I mean, when you don't hit the like video, it means I don't like these. Pretty simple. So you don't want to be a liar. So I mean, of course, if you like it and don't hit the like, kind of lying there too. I don't know if you thought about it that way. Y'all like the way I put that spin on there. John Colbert, what do you think about that little twist I put on folks right there? Kind of a guilt trip, wasn't it? Oh, got a first time watcher tonight, my father in law, Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles, thank you for tuning in with John Culpepper tonight. We ain't said the blessing yet. Let me back up where y'all can look at mama. All right. Let's pull it in just a little bit. I don't like y'all so far off over there. All right. Thank you, Lord, for the woods and the creek. Thank you, Lord, for the food we eat. Thank you, Lord, for the fish that swim. Thank you, Lord, for all of them. Thank you, Lord, for the plants that grow. Thank you, Lord, for the white-tailed doe. Thank you, Lord, for the birds that sing. Thank you, Lord, for everything. Amen. Let's see. Get my head covering back on, cover up my ugly noggin. Ooh, them peppers is gonna be good.
A hot one.
Hot and good's the same thing, man.
Or you like hot.
Ducky's trying to start a fight though, right there, right here in front of the camera. They gonna hit the tripod. Done did, and I see you. I see you.
My burger's a little thick.
All right. Here, pup. All right, that's all y'all get. Fly, go on. I can't handle these flies, y'all. And I can't keep up with comments right now while I'm eating. So don't comment nothing you need me to respond to at the moment. Give me a minute. Hmm. Flies is all.
Might not be able to eat.
I told him that's why I wasn't cooking out here. Well, we did have a cooking plan, but I really wasn't even gonna have no live tonight. We were supposed to have a seafood cooking tonight, but unfortunate events arose, and my sister's flight got canceled out of New York. They can't even come home, so she was going on about she wasn't going to be able to get home for Father's Day. I said, "Oh, don't worry about it. We'll still be here Christmas." She didn't want to be that long folks come.
I thought the flies was just bad here, but they were bad at work this week.
Well, in your defense, you got to fly in your glaze trying to drink your tea. They y'all do have a horse barn right out the back door.
Yeah.
I blame this on our chicken pens. When it gets wet down there, it just attracts flies. And yeah, we put pine straw and different things in there. For me, the pine straw works the best in my chicken pen because it's free and it works as good as wood shavings and stuff. Once it quits raining and starts drying out, I'll go sprinkle some granulated lime in there, and that'll help a lot. But it don't pay to put no lime or nothing in there, and it's standing in water. I've got one part of it open, and then one half of it is covered up with root. But water runs in there regardless, so. It's hard to be out in the rain and not get wet. You making buns?
Yeah. You don't like them?
Yeah, I just asked. I just noticed the bottom was different. But my hamburger's coming apart on me. I'm struggling with it.
All the stuff fall out the
Yeah.
bottom.
Well, technically the top half sliding off the meat. Which has prompted me to hurry up, meet it, throw it off the cart. And Brody will be up here shortly. He went down to Mama's. He has to go check on them and their iPad. We banned him from adult YouTube up here.
You need a napkin?
I need something. You over there hoarding them all? I didn't have long sleeves. That's my problem. If I wear a long sleeve shirt, I'm fine. I don't need a napkin.
Said no static or buffering tonight. Mike Culpepper had to reboot his though. That must have been on his end.
I haven't even been looking on here at it.
He picked Chantrell today.
I seen he sent me a picture of him.
She said Janet said she sat on the bug and got eaten up by mosquitoes. That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's my kind of ride.
All right, I'm through. I can't keep eating out here in these plies.
Well, you done ate everything on your plate.
Yeah.
Anybody to get him a water.
Yeah, I can't be doing all that drinking stuff while I'm eating. I get full and can't eat my food. So I wait till I get through pretty much before I drink whatever I'm gonna drink. And them jalapenos on that hamburger was warm. Garden is doing well, considering all the rain. I had to go down there the other day though. The blights got into tomatoes again because about half of my cages fell over. I had them staked from the bottom with some tent stakes and stuff. I thought, oh, that'll hold. Well, in dry weather, it will. But when that ground's saturated with 3-4 inches of rain, they don't hold no more when the wind starts blowing.
Matthew, we eating hamburgers tonight.
So I had to go down there and drive fence posts beside most of my tomato cages and tie them off.
These are yeast buns. Justin don't really care for sourdough, so I tried to fool with it, but we didn't really like the taste of sourdough, so we don't do it.
I'm gonna tell you, when she makes sourdough, all I can smell is old stale beer. Exactly what it. And used to, I would have liked that. I don't care nothing about it no more. It don't appeal to me. It brings back sad memories. Not sad like I miss it, like bad memory. You know what I mean? So, but no, that ain't right. I just don't like the taste of it, honestly. A lot of people love it. And if you love it, I want you to eat all you want of it. I ain't against you liking it. I ain't trying to tell you not to like it. It's not for me. It ain't my thing. I'm not one of these people that just eats something and does something because everybody else is doing it. I pretty well blaze my own trails. All right, I got my water down. See if I can hit that garbage can again. Oh, I missed bad. I don't mind telling them. Oh,
I almost ate Chantrell tonight.
Get my glasses. I can't read some of these. Roscoe's needing them. Bobby Diamond said Michelle needs to open up a bakery. She's been peddling some of this stuff around locally here and keeping herself busy. Matthew Graves, what is your opinion on the Honda Pioneer 1000? I love it. If I was going to buy another buggy tomorrow and I didn't own anything, that's what I would buy. Now, that being said, the Polaris Ranger was better in the fact that I liked my dash up there that I could set my my fat bottle mug up on. They don't. None of these cups fit in the Honda. Just the way it is. One of them deals you'd have to deal with. You put your coffee in your hand, you hold on to it. Uh, the next thing is the Pioneer, the Polaris Ranger was smoother. As you drove and eased off, it just operated smoother. But the Honda is functions. It'll go. It's solid. I've had no problems out of it. We've had a few nuts and bolts on some of the body stuff vibrate loose. It had to be tightened up or replaced. But aside from that, as far as mechanically sound, I've not had no problems out of it. So, uh, we a year and a half in with it, and I still love it. So, I would recommend it at this point. Go back and see it.
We usually fry fish. Justin likes grilled fish, but I don't really like grilled fish.
I like blackened fish. Like the next time I catch big catfish, and I may load up and go next week to Tom Bigby with the water high, a lot of fresh water. Catfishing would be the thing to do. Well, our swamp's flooded, so if I fish next week, I'll have to get the big boat, and I done took it down yonder and parked it back in the shed where I got it from. She lets me park it down under her shed, because I mean it's right down the road. But I could go and do some jugs in backwater would be the thing to do this week. And if I catch me another big catfish, I'm gonna cut the big fillets off and cut them into steaks, and I'm gonna vacuum seal all of them that way, so that when I decide, hey, I want a blackened fish steak, I can thaw one out, put it on that black stone, get it hot, 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 and just sear all the edges of that thing and season it how I want it and have blackened fish. I love that. Michelle's not a fan. Oh, I'm just, if I'm gonna be honest with you, aside from Grinnell, all the other fish we fry taste the same. Grinnell has a different texture to the meat, which is more meaty, which is why I like it. And it's good fried. But I have baked it, I have sauteed it, I've blackened it, I've cooked it on a campfire, so you can cook it any way you want to. And I may do one of them that way, you know. Driveway mechanic said, do I drink mostly water? In the summer and the days, yes. When I come in with a meal, I like sweet tea, like she's drinking here most of the time. But I drank a lot of coffee. I drank coffee during the day. Some. I've got a coffee pot in my knife shop, and I try to make teas. I got a herbal tea ball, and I may do a video on this here before long because we try and I'm gonna be honest with you. My medicinal plant videos, the older ones, are doing better than anything on my channel right now. People are not watching fishing. People are not watching anything else I do. And I like doing the medicinal plants, and it's time to start harvesting. And I've picked a few things, elderberry flowers and stuff that I did not film. But I'm gonna film some of that stuff, and I may do some videos in the spirit of the plants and medicinal stuff, doing my herbal teas down there in the that I put a tea ball over in the coffee pot and then just pour water in the back and turn it on. Keeps me from drinking too much coffee throughout the day, but most of what I drink is the yellow Gatorades, water, and then sweet tea with a meal. I do try to limit my sweet tea, and then coffee. If I go to town, I have quit buying soft drinks. There for a little while, we got to camp and I got to drinking, so I was drinking too many. It don't take me no time till I'm drinking 2 a day, and that's too many, really and truly. So yeah, mostly water. I like water, and our tap water here is decent. A lot of places you can't drink the tap water. Here we actually have good tap water. So we make tea out of our tap water and all that stuff. pretty well safe to drink here. But we do. I got cases of bottled water. That's mostly what we drink. Not to be misleading, you know what I mean? Mike, hey, you said um you put labels on your noodle. You put noodles or name tags on your stuff. Something's going on with my eye. It's been bothering me today and yesterday. I don't know if something's in it. Not bad, but it's just a little irritating. Here in Mississippi, I've been asked several times about labeling fishing gear, catfishing gear. We do not in Mississippi have to label everything because people ask about it. I read all these laws to make sure. We have certain waters that you have to. There is certain areas on different rivers that have to be labeled in just certain areas, and there's certain lakes. I think Grenada Lake. I think several some of them big lakes up there. You do have to label it, but nowhere that I normally fish has to be labeled. But that don't mean it ain't a good idea. I mean, if you label it, it at least let somebody know whose stuff you got they fooling with. Randy McDonald's flies drive me nuts. I just. Randall Hayes said, "Can you do another video for laying a bowfin?" I've already filmed it. The other day when I went fishing, I come in, I filmed cleaning it, and then we filmed cooking it. So there'll be a cleaning and cooking video first of this week. I already got it filmed. I just got to edit it. Footage is on the computer. So yes, answer yes to that question. I'm going back reading. Trying to stay caught up with stuff. You made rabbit tobacco tea. I usually mix. I very seldom make just rabbit tobacco. I usually mix rabbit tobacco with goldenrod. But I've been doing some research and I have come up with another recipe. I posted it on my Facebook page that I'm going to do for cold medicine. I'm going to use bone set, elderberry flowers, the blossoms. I've already harvested them and I've got them drying. Uh, and I'm strictly drying them so that they're preserved and don't mildew till I get my other stuff harvested. Uh, Bone set, elderberry flowers, goldenrod, and what else was it? There's one other thing I was going to add to it. Mm, I'll have to look my paper and see I posted it. My mind went blank. But anyway, I've got a recipe that I'm going to use on that. And the last time I did a cold medicine, I put rabbit tobacco in it. I don't think I'm going to this time. John Newton, mushrooms are a difficult thing. Um, And the reason mushrooms are, and it's hard for somebody to help you with mushrooms, boom, fly, is because there's so many species that are similar. And it's sometimes it's very small things that decide the difference. So in general, when you're looking at mushrooms, I mean, you go by the color of the cap, you go by the size of the mushroom, you go by what does the underside look like? Does it have gills, or is it smooth, or is it porous? Are these gills attached to the stem, or do they kind of curve up in there? And then when some of them are really similar, you've got to really go to a spore print, which you take a piece of glass or a mirror or something and tap it on there, and then you can slide a black sheet of paper or a white sheet of paper under there and sort of see the color of the spore print. And it can be, a tricky thing to do. So the best thing to do is figure out in my area what mushrooms are edible, like generally, and for us here, the most common chanterelles right now are going crazy here because of the rain and it's warm and they just start popping out everywhere. So if you follow a foraging page on Facebook, is a good thing to do. Find one in your area that is people. There's the forage Mississippi foraging is a good one for here. And what you'll do is you'll notice, hey, everybody's posting pictures of this mushroom right now, and they're saying they're eating it, and it just helps you to know what is going on right now in my area, what is popping out, because it won't just be in your yard; it'll be in a large area most of the time, the whole state. And here we've got chanterelles, oyster mushrooms, chicken of the woods, hen of the woods, uh, puff balls. I'm probably missing one. I use turkey tail mushrooms medicinally, but they're not really edible. Um, that's really the main things that I fool with, and I'm not a fan of the puff ball mushrooms. They just wasn't good. I cooked them 2 or 3 different ways. I didn't like them. So mushrooms is a tricky thing. Puffballs fixes alphagal. I didn't know that. Might be something to look into. Uh, and lion's mane was the other one that I'm thinking of. So lion's mane and oyster, you're gonna be looking over into the fall of the year, into the winter here. And that I'm in Mississippi for those of you that don't know. And it just with a foraging page, you kind of keep up with what's going on. Betty, that puppy, he is a mess now. He come tearing through here. Brody has probably walked up here. Michelle had sent a message down to Mama's and told him to tell him to come on. What is Happy Tree? I don't have no idea. Probably mimosa is what they're referring to. It's got the big pink fuzzy things. It's a mood lifter. It works mildly. I have used it. I've made tinctures on it. I've done videos on it. Uh, but it's a mood lifter. Really the tincture and the bark is the most effectiveness out of that tree. But I can't remember if the bark has the same qualities it's in the flower blooms. I'll have to hang on. I'll tell you what I'll do. I tell you what I do. We got into discussions last night. This is probably for my area. This is one of my favorite books, but it don't cover everything. But I bet it covers mimosa. I bet it covers mimosa. Motherwort is something that I have yet to find. Here is mimosa. I slung stuff everywhere. It says mimosa is incredibly uplifting and helps calm a disturbed mind. It is beginning to get popular in Western herbalism, puppy. But our knowledge of the plant's uses come from Chinese medicine. As you might guess from its Chinese name, He Han Pi, Pa, collective happiness bark, which that leads me to believe bark is. It is an excellent remedy for depression, insomnia, trauma, and grief, really any shock to the system. Taking the flowers internally imparts the same feeling as looking at the flowers. Joyous wonder. They're uplifting, a pleasant escape from everyday troubles to relieve a troubled heart. They're often discussed as an antidepressant, but they are more like a pause button to worry. The bark seems to work more deeply and subtly. It also helps uplift the spirit and treat depression, but penetrates more deeply into the body and mind. So both of them actually do the same thing. They do divide it into some other discussion, but this is uh southeast medicinal plants. Corey Pine Shane is the author. That is a good book. This other one, what? I was about to block somebody by accident. Don't do that. This is herbs for you. Somebody sent me last couple of years ago, actually, the PDF to this, and I actually printed this off by Dr. A.B. Howard. I've got two of these books. And so what I done is I went through and printed everything off and put them all in here. And this is a good book. Ain't worth a flip for plant identification. Wealth of knowledge and healing you. If you go buy this book, you looking at a $500 or $600 book. So I printed it all off. So, and there's two of them. The other one has more depth on combination plants, what you work together for different stuff. Something else I was going to show. Look at this behemoth. This knife, I finished the sheath this week. It is a little tricky to get out, and I noticed I got some surface rust going on. All this rain has been hanging outside. That is a monster of a knife. I'm waiting to get to film some videos out. I don't know, harvesting plants, doing something with it. But I made me a strap. Puppy is excited where I can wear it like this, basically. That way it's kind of out of my way. I can put it around behind me if I want to. So
If puppy sleeps all day, like it rained all morning and through the middle part of the day. And so he slept most of the day.
now he's
If
energized.
he sleeps all day, well, come afternoon, he's wound up. But now if he's wound up all during the day, he sleeps. He'll go to sleep early and be relaxed. He's like a toddler. Now he's gonna dig a hole back there.
Yeah. Yeah, John Newton, I have to email you the PDF link and you can download it. I had a major ordeal printing it off. We had to redo the something about the printer when I was doing it. But anyway, Tammy, we hadn't really thought about it, but yes, sometime during the fall, probably. When do we want to plan a East Tennessee camping? We want to find and Brandon Cloud had sent me some links that I've yet to look through. But of places that him and his wife had looked up, we was looking for places that had cabins. We'd love to have a place. So yeah, I want to do that. I hadn't sat down and put the thought into it because when I get off the live, it has completely forgot me. You need to make us a note to sit down and do that at some point.
Still got them links.
Yeah, they in my mail. I ain't deleted them. I just hadn't looked at them. Melinda Casanova, good evening from California. William Fuller said, "Good evening from North Carolina." Belinda said, "How many kinds of mushrooms are there? Lord help, we've got thousands." I have no idea. I wouldn't even begin to. I imagine we've got 500 or 600 different species here just in Mississippi. If I was going to plant a bush or tree for privacy from the road, what would you plant? Well, the first thing, if I hadn't got to mower right up against it, I would plant Elaeagnus. It will grow and it just gets woolly, but it gets big and it's the best privacy thing. Cause it'll get wide too. If you've got an old fence row though, here the Chinese privet hedge will come up naturally here and it'll do wonders. In fact, that is what is along the back of my neighbor in front of his property that I can't even see her house. And it's all privet hedge with some few tree saplings growing up in it now. But the privet is what blocks down low.
He's aggravating Roscoe with it.
Derek Moses said a kukri knife. Yes, that was sent to me as a kukri. A fellow sent me the blank for that knife. I did a little bit of reprofiling on it. I wanted to make it a little more mine, and then I put it in the forge and beat the edge out because it's fairly thick. It's a little more than an eighth of an inch. I think it's probably nearly 3/16. And I forged it on out, which added to that belly some more. Uh, but I like it for what it is. It's not something that I would consider an everyday carry knife, obviously, but for novelty's sake, for the purpose of what you're gonna go do, like if I was Puppy, he is running circles and he's gonna run into that tripod. It's gonna happen.
He's definitely
He is wound up, y'all. I mean, he like 8 day clock. He's trying to get Roscoe to play with him. Roscoe's about had enough. And they got my attention. I can't even think of what I'm saying. But anyway, like if I working property lines, surveying, any of that kind of stuff, that would be what I wanted to take with me. And I'm sure I've got a couple of people that's done email me and message me and call me wanting a knife just like that. So I'm he's gonna run over the tripod.
Well, just put the camera on them.
Yeah, I can't even think. He's
They be entertainment.
Roscoe keeps trying to get rid of him. Oh,
Well,
he has nosed my coffee. What? You're not getting enough attention? Did y'all see that? He just, dumped coffee all over me. Why'd you do that? Son. All right, sit down. Sit. You pouring my coffee out. I see you. I put your food out down there. Go eat. Your food's down there in your food bowl. You want to be fed up here is what it is. That's probably what I need to do. Bring their food up here and feed them on the back porch instead of down yonder because they won't go down there and eat hardly. Their food bowls and all's down there by the chicken pen and their food's down there. I don't know what he's wanting, but he's
probably want you to hold him.
yeah, he's looking away from Puppy's about to drive him insane. Lord help.
Y'all
Yeah, Sasquatch. He loves me now.
at night when Justin comes in and gets in the recliner, both of them want up there with him. And Roscoe gets so jealous because Puppy gets up there.
Oh Lord.
Uncle said he wants a Jake snack.
Yeah. Might need to go get a sack of treats. Boy's ears perked up then. He know. Mullen, Lily, that was the other one for the cold and flu. Yep. Boneset, goldenrod, elderflower, and mullen. And I had a friend of mine brought me a huge plant of mullen, and he said up there they was everywhere, and they was fixing to spray that whole property and kill everything so they could replant trees on it. It's a timber company land. So I need to get up with him and let him tell me where and go harvest some more because my dad uses a lot of mullen. He's got COPD and stuff like that with his lungs. And then after he punctured that lung last year in the accident, my dad has trouble with his lungs. So he drinks mullen tea pretty regular. And he's seen all that, got to ask him about it. And I said, well, we'll go get some. And he built that little shooting house down there in the woods last year. I filmed some of it. He didn't quite get through with it before he had his accident. And he hadn't really finished it like he wanted to finish it. And but he said that'd be the perfect place to hang that stuff up and dry it. And I said, yeah, it would. So we may go and harvest a whole bunch of mullen for him to hang them plants up down there, and I may have some extra to if somebody needed some that wanted, I could give them. But
David wants to know if Biscuit's gonna make a treat all this.
I don't know. Biscuit's gun shy. I shot my pistol yesterday evening. It was pretty weather. I was in a knife shop and there was birds out here just raiding my plum bush. So I come out here and I got a plate down there that's probably about 75 yards or pretty near 100 yards from up here. And I can hit it 6, 7, 8 shots out of 10. I got a 10-round clip in that brown and buck mark that I've got now. And I was just target shooting with it. And Puppy hides. I mean, left him when I start shooting. So he don't like firecrackers. He don't like. He
Just
like
take them little things that you throw.
You know the firecrackers that you get that you just throw on the ground, and when they hit the concrete, they pop. We call them poppers. I don't know if they have a technical name, but he'll go do something mischievous, and instead of spanking him, he runs under the bed where you can't get a hold to him, and like we're trying to potty train him. He's hard headed bad. But when he run under the bed and hide, I got some of them little pops and I just throwed them up under there and popped and son, he come out under there. You know, and
we couldn't find him. He hid somewhere we couldn't find him. So we ain't gonna do that no more.
But I'm not gonna give up on him. He may grow out of some of that. I mean, he'll get familiar with the 22. Now, I mean, so we'll see. We'll see. Trying to get back, read through if I missed some comments. What time of the year to go scouting for deer? Oh, Bill Valentine, I don't know. I'm in a new deer club this year, so I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Probably not gonna have the greatest deer season this year. Never know, could be awesome. I think I'll have a good time this year. I'm in with some guys, Mr. Petey Fresh Hour, my buddy that makes knives down here, Mr. David Barrier. And these older guys like to cook, and we'll go up there and they don't have a real big deer camp or nothing fancy. They got a little old metal oak men building that more like just a roof to get in out of the rain up there. And you can't have any major structures on this timber company land. They did talk them into letting them put that little thing there, and they basically call it a carport. But they got some grills under it, and they'll cook dinner, and we'll go up there and have a cooking every now and then. So we may film some of that, and such as that stuff. But they got some decent deer up there. But now I don't know that much about the place, so we'll have to learn. So we'll be a lot of Jeep riding up there back and forth to hunt because it's mostly gravel roads all the way around it, and then one through the middle is like one big block. So we'll see. We'll see how season goes. But now I will start they won't let us feed on this property. Last year, I could start feeding in August if I wanted to. Up here, it's got to be end of September before you start putting feeders out. Well, I would rather not have to feed deer at all. But when you go onto a property that everybody else is feeding, you've got to feed, or else you don't see nothing. That's just how that works. If nobody up there fed, I would be fine with it. I would hunt. Like this property back here behind me, this management area, nobody feeds on it. I can go there and kind of hunt on it without feeding corn and do all right. So, um, we'll see how it goes. I'll probably start scouting over in end of August, September sometime. I really, honest to God, I do a lot of my scouting squirrel hunt. Get me a 22 rifle and let me walk in woods squirrel hunt, and I'll tell you wherever deer in there's at. I mean, that's really the best way because as the acorns start dropping, that's what I start looking for and hunt pattern all that stuff. So. Auntie's World, you can't find mullen. If I get a bunch, I can probably send you some. I can probably send you some mullen. I'll talk to Ken tomorrow. We'll see Ken tomorrow, won't
we? Yeah.
And he'd tell me where he found all that, how to get there, and then one day next week I'll load up in the truck or the Jeep or something and go up there and just get a load of it. Probably need to go in the truck so I can load the back of it up. Joey from Butterfly Farms, good to see you tonight.
We missing somebody on here tonight.
I have not seen Jeff Claudel.
Yeah.
I have not seen Martin Meltzer either in a while. Martin, though, has computer trouble, and then I think he has to have his grandyoungins to help straighten his computer out when it goes on the brinks. So that is kind of his deal, why he comes and goes. Brody is down at my mother's. Yeah, he's come to North Carolina, plenty of overstock. When we pass through Virginia, West Virginia, and North Carolina. We even went into South Carolina last year and we made that big loop. And I seen mullen all up on top over there. We went right through Blair County and all down through there. There was mullen growing on both sides of the road. I kept wanting to stop, but I didn't stop and get any. So yeah, Martin, his computer is probably giving him fits. I know when stuff goes on the brinks with him, he's kind of like me, lost with it. I have learned how to operate the things that I used. I can edit my videos. I can operate my filming camera and stuff on my iPhone and transfer. I mean, the things that I use. But if something goes awry, like Michelle, she'll go in there and fool with the editing and hit the wrong button on something and it'll discombobulate everything. And I'm like, I don't know how to fix it. That's where I fall. So as long as everything works like I'm used to it working, I'm good. But then you'll do some update and it changes everything, and I'm like, why? I had just learned how to operate it. So, you know, Jennifer Brody is at my mama's because they will hand him the iPad and he'll sit there and watch YouTube video stuff that he ain't got no business watching because they don't really pay attention to what he's looking at too much. They try to, but they don't know if it's good or bad. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's sitting there watching it and and he don't make a sound, so it don't bother. He don't bother them at all. He just acts wild when he's up here with us.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you on this. Y'all can believe this or not. If his mama will leave and go to work, he can stay here all day and mind me, and I don't have a minute's trouble with him. Soon as she walks through the door, he's like a whole different youngin'. He tears the place apart then. So I blame it on her. I don't know what the difference is. Robert Cochran said Oak Tim said there's water everywhere. I bet the campground flooded again, ain't it? John Newton, if you got a MacBook, I use the iMovie editor on the Mac. I've got a Mac Mini hooked to a screen. That's what I use. And the reason is it's easy for me to transfer stuff from the iPad or my phone straight to it. All of that stuff's in the same files. I don't have to redo files and rename them and all kind of junk to get the videos in there. iMovie and iPhone all work together well. So I don't do a bunch of special effects kind of stuff. I basically trim the clips off of videos, rearrange them a little bit. I may zoom in a little bit, which is just basically cropping the video some. I do some basic stuff and that's it. I don't do a lot of frills to my videos because, in my opinion, if you do, and I've discovered this with camera angles, if you start filming from multiple camera angles, you kind of take the real feel. It looks staged then. And I don't mean it always is staged. It may mean somebody put a lot of work into their video, but it just looks fake because they had to set this camera up and stop and go reset this camera up, start over, and it's just I don't know. I get leery of people that film stuff and say they really did this, and it's got all these different angles on it. They're really a filming producer, and then they are doing whatever they claim they're doing. For me, I just take this iPhone, turn it on, and do whatever I'm doing. Twiddly Branch is still closed. Robert, we were supposed to be down there 2 weeks ago, and they canceled and said it was going to open back up this past week, which obviously I didn't figure was going to happen. So, yeah, Jennifer Brody gonna come home about like Puppy is right now, wound up tighter than 8-day clock. He's still running back and forth out there. You see him? he's something now. Oh, Michelle didn't lock the door good. He just mashed the door open and got inside. Mike Culpepper, I've heard of numerous people using WD-40 on their rods and reels and fish baits and all that, and swore it helped them catch fish. So I'm not against WD-40 on there. Jennifer, I use Canva to do a lot of my thumbnails, which I have started using Chat GPT because I can pay for Chat GPT and it'll do a whole lot more faster than I can do with Canva. Now, I never did like Canva for editing the actual video. Now, my reels, like Facebook reels and stuff, a lot of it I'll edit. If I'm not adding music or anything, I'll edit it on TikTok because I can upload stuff into TikTok, crop it the way I want it to the upright for the short. And then when I save it or post it on TikTok, it'll save the finished product to my camera reel. And then I can just upload the same thing to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube shorts, like that. If I'm going to have music that I need to put my own music or whatever to, I'll do it with CapCut. I use it a little bit, but for most of my full length videos, I use iMovie on there. I used VideoPad Editor for a while, but it kept saving parts of my stuff to the computer to the point that I couldn't delete it off. In fact, it ruined one computer I had. I have never heard of using Armor All on fish baits. Never heard of Armor All. Outside the pulpit, on most of my stuff, oh, when I'm filming, I'm editing as I film. In other words, yeah, if I totally mess up something, I'm like, delete it, especially if I'm talking about medicinal plants. But I'll be honest with you, I very seldom ever try to stand there and tell you all about a medicinal plant out of the top of my head. I'd rather pull this book out and go, okay, we're going to study this plant. This is what this book says about it. And I'll be have done researched which book has got the best information. Is why I don't always use the same book. I've probably got 15 different medicinal plant books. Native American stuff, modern stuff, old stuff, Charles Mills Paul's really old English written kind of stuff, good book. But I'll read out of a book while I'm telling you what that plant does, because I don't care how good you are. Your mind, if you're doing medicinal plants, there's so many of them and so many different uses and names and big words that even if you do know it, it's easy to say the wrong thing and get somebody off track accidentally. And I've watched a lot of people, and finally I quit watching medicinal plant videos because I don't watch some boys, and one guy, he gets lots of views. I ain't gonna call a name because I really don't like just bashing people for no reason. But this guy's well known, gets a lot of views, and he's standing there talking about this holly plant or Yaupon holly, and he's standing beside an old Chinese privet hedge. I mean, I've been around enough privet hedge out here, grows wild, and it's got these little berries that come on it. And he's telling you about how you make coffee, and you can't make coffee out of that plant he was standing beside. But now the information that he was given was correct. He just misidentified a plant, and I just hope he didn't go make medicine out of that plant and go selling it, because it ain't gonna do what he said it was gonna do. But you gotta watch, man. A lot of this stuff, y'all, on medicinal plants is trending. There's a lot of people, especially like Facebook and these short videos, that they saw somebody else telling that this plant will do this, so they stand up and make a video telling what they saw in this other video about this plant will do this, and they don't no more know than they can fly. Had never made medicine out of it, ain't never took none of it, don't know what to say. It's a popular thing to do videos on and gets them a lot of views. So I'm when if I've seen a bunch of people doing something, I kind of like back off of it. I'm like, well, they done this to death. And most of them are fairly right on most things. I hadn't found a lot of them to be wrong, but every now and then I'll catch one. You'll be like, oh, that ain't what that is, or that ain't what that does. When I first got into medicinal plants, I would literally take them books and sit down on the front porch and just read. I mean, I would, especially the ones that I knew I had in my area. And if I ever like found a plant, I wouldn't need it, but I'd be like, oh, there that is. And then I would read all about it. Well, what all does this do? What can I use it for? And then I narrowed down to the things that I needed and liked and would use and was in my area. And I progressed from there. Jennifer, you like that book? Have you used it very much? That A.B. Howard book? I have not just used it extensively, but I like it. It's got a lot of stuff in it. Up, Derek, I have got some punch bait. I have not used it a lot. I could never get it to stay on my hook good. Mr. Mike Reeves that come down here and fished with me and Brody one day loves it, fishes with it all the time, catches a lot of nice little channel cat with it in some of these places. Uh, John, them Bible videos, I try to never go over 30 minutes unless I really got something I feel the Lord needs me to say. Even when I preach, I try not to preach over 30 minutes because you just lose people. But you're right. 10 minutes, you can say a lot that needs to be said and wrap it up in 10 minutes. I normally go around 20 on mine, which at times could be too long, you know. But it's yeah. Anytime somebody goes, and I know some people, man, they'll get on the Bible and go an hour. You done way lost all your people. I mean, they don't. They done. I'm just. I know people. I know they're most of them can't watch a 20-minute video of you doing something they like without hurrying you along. They'll leave comments in there and be like, I one I was skinning something said this didn't even make the first cut till 3 minutes into the video. I'm like, well, it's 3 minutes, you know. Took you that long to get out of bed and get sleep rubbed out of your eyes. So, people's attention spans are about this long now, and it's due to doom scrolling on shorts, and I do it too. I'm trying to get away from it. It's cost me a small fortune in work and money too from not working. You know. What is the music in your video openings? Well, I'm glad you asked. That is me playing the guitar, and that is the theme song to Spirit of the Outdoors. And yes, I writ a whole song, and I was gonna do a video of me sitting there playing and singing the whole song and do a video on it. That is the Spirit of the Outdoors. But I ain't good enough to do that. I had to record that with my iPhone 5 or 6 times before I ever got where I was halfway decent enough to say, well, we'll use this. But I did play that. I did record that down there in my shed, and that is me playing the Spirit of the Outdoors theme song. Now, I just did that back 3 or 4 months ago. Y'all started noticing it the same theme as at the beginning of every video. That is what I done. So those of you that are wanting this PDF file, let me make sure I have this PDF file first. Uh, I'm trying to see if it's. I don't think it's on this iPad. I don't think it is. Where is my Gmail on here? I know I've got Gmail. There it is. Let me look here a second. I can search. What is the name of that book? Oh, I gotta look the name of it. Herbs for You. Let me see. Herbs for You search. Yes. Okay. I have got where I sent it to several people and people that sent it to me. Oh, so yeah, I think I can access this. So what I was gonna say is, y'all, I have no idea on this iPad how to close stuff out on it. You're supposed to go up and over. Ah, I did it. I don't know how I did it. I don't want to close YouTube out. Stuff keeps moving. I don't know how to close everything out on this thing. It gets a little overwhelmed at times. All right. So I'm going to put my email address in the chat, and you email me and request that PDF because I will have to email it to you. Takes me a minute to do my chicken pecking finger. You know what I mean? And that first letter is lowercase, but I really don't think it makes a lot of difference out there on that. Yeah, there'll be two PDF files. There's an orange book and a red book. The red book is the first and basic general knowledge book. The orange book is a little more in depth into combinations of herbs that you to make medicines with. You really need both of them if you're going to do this more extensively. But if you're going to just have one, you want the red one. At least that's my opinion. Jennifer, I hadn't either. Talking about going, she said she hadn't had a chance to go through that book like she wanted. Honest to God, that's my reason. I slowed down on medicinal plants, and I'll tell you why. I'm pretty well healthy, generally speaking. I mean, I got ailments and aches and pains like most people, but for the most part, I'm fairly healthy. I don't have any, long term illnesses that I'm trying to treat. I don't have chronic pain. I don't have my biggest battles is with anxiety and stress. So I don't use a lot of medicine, and the things that I do use I've done harvested and got tinctures for that. I mean, I just hadn't last year. I didn't even hardly harvest anything. I didn't need to. I had plenty goldenrod for tea, and goldenrod I don't really use medicinally. I use it just for tea to keep me from drinking so much coffee. But I've had so much going on, trying to do things, trying to make all of what I do work full time I can't make a living just filming videos. So it ain't like, well, all you do is film videos for a living. No, I couldn't begin to make a living off of what I make off of YouTube. So I have to have YouTube and Facebook paying me to help make the living off the social media. The Facebook opened the door for me to sell knives. I have to have Facebook to sell most of the knives because YouTube don't really allow you to have a way to sell them. And I don't sell very many through YouTube. Most all the knife sales I do is through Facebook. Uh, but then the making the knife and selling the knife is where my real money comes from. And then Michelle is making pottery and selling it, and then I preach out some. So all of those things together is what makes my living. Well, I have to go wide open to do all of it at one time. And if I stop filming the fishing trips and the camping trips and all the other stuff that I filmed that people enjoy watching, they gonna quit buying the knives too. So you kind of it's like a vicious cycle. So in the process of getting everything going, and I built the knife shop, and we quit the pottery full time. Michelle's still doing it, but I quit the pottery, dove wide open into the knives and the social media stuff. I've been overwhelmed with it. I've about got a handle on it now. I've about got things, but I mean, there ain't a whole lot of money. It would really frighten y'all if I told you what we file taxes on every year. You'd be like, how in the world do you survive? I promise you, you would. Uh, Together, I think together we made somewhere around $50,000 last year, gross. Uh, but we don't have a lot of bills: internet, lights, water, And then now we have added a camper and a boat payment, which we got rid of her truck payment. We was paying it. So right now we're paying for a camper, a boat, and a buggy, and that's it. We don't have house payments. We don't have land payments. We don't have mortgage. We don't have all that business. We just got phones, water, lights, insurance, and those three payments and the internet. So that is it, which is a lot for me. But with all of that being said, didn't mean to get off into all that. With all that being, I've been struggling to try to make everything work. What was that? A fly landed on the screen? The screen went black. Um, I hadn't had time to dive into the stuff that I wanted to sit down and read. I used to sit down and just read generally. Uh, I've slacked on my Bible reading times, which I try to do my Bible reading first thing in the mornings. And today I finished Revelations in the ESV version. I put that Bible up, done with it. I don't know what I got to start over with something else now. Uh, I really wanted me a really nice King James version note taking Bible with the wide margins, and I ordered one and I got it in, and I just didn't like the size of it. I wanted a full size Bible. The one I got is like short but wide. I'm like, I don't like this. And I wanted it to be my Bible that I compiled all of my highlighting and notes and written my thoughts, my understanding of things in the Bible, and compiled it all into, so that one day I can preach out of this Bible and highlight, and this is where all my stuff's at. But one day when I'm gone, I can hand it to Brody or Lissy, and they'll have all of my stuff, my thoughts. But I ain't had time to sit down and read and go through these medicinal plant books and go through all of the stuff that in the last year, and I'm slowly right now getting back to where I can. I've about got a handle on things in general. And I think I've got a handle on it because I stopped stressing over it. I made a you know what? I ain't worried about the views. I ain't worried about what I feel. I'm gonna film what I want to film. Here's what happened. I figured out the algorithm, which I had some people tell me about the algorithm. This like YouTube wants you to really put one video a week and three shorts a week. That's what YouTube will push right now. Facebook, on the other hand, wants three posts a day. They want either three video. Really, they want two videos and one picture with a text and information to create a discussion, and then a story, or add any of that to your story. And they want a certain amount of content, so they'll push it. And I chased all that, and it'll work YouTube. It'll drive you nuts because they want it in the morning, they want it at dinner, they want it at dinner. Well, you got to stop. Well, anytime you break that cycle, well, they push your stuff to the side. Well, I finally quit worrying about it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna film what I want to film, and just go about life. And if I want got time to make a video, I will. If I don't, for a while, I was trying to make sure I created content for people. And for a while, I got to making a video a day. And well, after a while, that drove me nuts. I was doing it at a time when I had a lot going on. It wasn't hard to do. And then as I run out of things, I was trying to force things. And a lot of it got to do with when I was trying to fish and things like that. I would go do a fishing trip, and then we wouldn't catch nothing. The weather was bad, or whatever. And well, then that get frustrating, and it just you get into a cycle of stuff, and I just finally I quit worrying about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna film what I want to, and that was the best thing I ever did. Michelle said, "Hey, Brody." Tim Ward said, "What would be good for chronic bone pain?" I don't know about pain, but wild lettuce is your best pain medicine. Then you've got white oak. The inner layer of white oak bark has some pain relieving properties. Willow bark has pain relieving for headaches, but it is mainly about stimulating blood flow to your brain. Will relieve. So it. Janet Culpepper said to Hay, he's gonna give that hammock back there a good ride. Brody and that hammock, they can do it. Let's do like this. Look good. Y'all can't see Roscoe. Look, there you go. Jennifer said she saw Sparkles take off with 2 toy trucks and a bag of Legos that were laying around somewhere. Took off in the woods. He's gonna make off with all your toys, ain't he? I'm gonna have to go get me some fresh coffee. I'm sure the flies has done been all in that, and the coffee was cold.
Well, I would say he'll spark and I'll slap it.
Janet said she still had the rock you give her. Huh? What'd you do with all them rocks?
They're still in the car.
Oh, you ain't even got them out of the car. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah.
Have you painted your rock?
Dog fennel, Jennifer, we've got a lot of dog fennel here. Not here in the yard. It's in these pastures and all. I keep most everything weed eated down around, but I'm gonna tell you, everything's out of hand with all the rain we've had. I can't stay ahead of the grass cutting. I'm gonna have a chore whenever it dries out enough to cut grass because it's gonna be thick. Lord help. But if that fennel keeps the flies away, I may have to bring some up here and put it in potted plants. They say that them citronella plants will help keep the mosquitoes and stuff away, which we don't have a huge problem with mosquitoes. That fly's still crawling around on that screen up there, ain't he? I may have to go get my fly flopper.
I'm gonna say the flaw.
Well, he crawled up there on that screen. It may be a different kind of flannel, Jennifer. I don't really know. I'll have to look. We have what we call dog fennel. It's a tall plant with a fuzzy thing, looks like coming up on it. We are bad delayed, y'all. I don't know if y'all are aware, but we are big time delayed. I'm reading comments, y'all. It looks like everybody, nobody's saying nothing. Where'd everybody go? I mean, I see y'all comments, but ain't nobody talking no more.
That alert. What was that alert?
It was, we have to approve David Russian's comments. He said you boil it and pull it, put it in something in dog days. What is your best color for griddle with plastics? Either dark green or I like the green with the orange belly. I call it the grinnell getter. It's the bait that I caught the first grinnell on in that last video. And the colors that he had sent me, the last one he gave me, his machine messed up, and he had made some that he could make, and the grinnell would not bite. And I had some other people wanting me to try some different stuff, and I had somebody wanting me to try the flukes, and I don't know, I couldn't get them to hit nothing the other day. They didn't want to hit anything but a certain bait, which was that green, dark green color, and that green and orange. And they will hit green with a red belly, but they want that dark green back. Oh, so it really anything really dark green, I like, I favor. Local life outdoors, how are you tonight? Hummingbirds eat a ton of mosquitoes. We've got hummingbird feeders on the front porch. Jimmy, I ain't even looked at the kayaks at Walmart. I've got 2 of them here in the yard, and they decent. Make sure you got some rod holders on it, and order you a stadium seat and mount it in there because it's got a good back on it and raises you up a little bit. Helps a lot with sitting in it very long. But I hadn't looked at the ones they got, but I'm sure they're all right. You want at least 10 foot. If you can get a 12-foot one, that's even better. I don't know if they have a 12-foot one though. Betty said Roscoe's tired. Yeah, he's over yonder laying now. Um, Mike, I tried the baits you sent. I never did get a bite on them either. The other day when I went, the Grinnell was finicky. I don't know why they being hard to deal with. A lot of times in certain areas, you can't keep them beat off of a bait if you're trying to fish. But I was trying to catch them, and they was not cooperating. Um, John Mobley, how are you? JH Outdoor Living said, "What is the best place to find your address?" Normally, I link it in all of my videos. It'll be in the description box. Uh, I don't. Yeah, dude. Hang on. I think I do have it right here. I think. Uh, uh. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm picking like Pecky Peckerson. There you go. Uh-uh. Ah. Um. I saw something I was going to answer. How's the garden doing? The garden is doing fair. It is wet, wet, wet. I'm getting blight in my tomatoes now because some of them blowed over, and when they lay on the ground, it just anything touches the ground starts getting blight on it. It's something about the dirt on them leaves, they can't handle it, and it just starts spreading. But we've had an excessive amount of rain, so a lot of my green tomatoes got knocked off. I picked all them up. And I'll show you. That is how many green tomatoes got knocked off of my plants, and I picked them up in the rain. And yeah, they need washing. So that was how that played out. Oh, and but other than that, it's doing all right. The peas are blooming. We've got peas. My mom and dad's got a couple of rows down there that is about to be ready to pick. How are the bees coming along? I haven't checked on them in a week or so. Uh, just ain't had no reason really to go out there and meddle with them. I've got to get me a smoker where I can go out there and open it up and check on them and see how things are going. But we added the second box, so really right now all they need to do is just eat, eat, eat. So I got a question. I had Michelle's mom and dad had some kinfolks that used to own a certain mill years and years ago, and they still had some cases of old cert, which is it was labeled honey, but I don't think it is pure honey. I think it is a honey blend. Um, and it's in half. I think it's in pint jar. Yeah, it's in pint jars, and I got a case of it. And they give it to me with the hopes that, hey, can you figure out how to feed this to your bees? And I don't know how to feed it to them. I asked some people, and they said, well, if you just open a jar and set it out there, they're gonna get stuck in it. And yeah, I don't want that to happen. So I don't know. I thought about taking one of them, the plastic piece that goes inside the frame that you drop down in the box. I could lay one of them out there and spread it thin across the top of that, and they could possibly eat it off of that. I don't know. Anybody got any ideas on this, or is this something like, hey, don't fool with it, don't do that? I'm just curious. You caught you a big old bowfin today at the PD River, I assume. Man, I like to catch grunnel. I'm gonna tell you. James said Brody just ruined the show. Oh no, he said you ruined the show. I don't know. He said you was messing up everything. Purple Martins eat several hundred mosquitoes today. I need some. No, Stuart, I got more Martins than I can shake a stick at out there. I don't really have a lot of mosquitoes compared to what's in this swamp right here. But I mean, I can go right down here in the edge of the woods and they will eat you up. I got martin gourds right here. We probably got there's probably around 45 martins flying around in given time out there. At least 20 or 30. How long does it take to get honey when you first start a hive? From what I understand, I put them out here a little late in the spring, early summer, really. And they say that I should be able to get some honey if everything goes well next spring, that I can open it up and harvest honey. So I've got my third set of boxes here. I need to clean them all up good and get the frames in them and get them ready to go. They're cedar boxes. Um, these are purple martins, but Brody's showing out. I'm waiting on them just to see what happens. I'll have to add that at some point. So I need to probably within the next couple of weeks, I need to get me a smoker and open it up and look in there and see if they're filling that top box. Once they fill out to pretty well 2 or 3 frames, I'll put the queen separator on there and add the third box. That way she can't go up and lay eggs or anything in that top, and it'll just all be honey. And I'm learning, y'all. I am taking information that was given to me. This is not stuff I've researched and I claim to know. Uh, Brother Dempsey that gave me the boxes is kind of walking me through how to do it. And I'm gonna tell y'all, the reason I follow what he says is that man's got 3 hives and he's harvested over 70 something quarts of honey off of 3 hives. So I mean, that's way more honey than I'll ever have any use for. Probably more than I can even sell to folks. Belinda said, "How did my birthday go?" Well, my mama gave me $20. I got it today. That's all I got for my birthday. Michelle did fry me some chicken wings. She asked what I wanted for supper, so I requested chicken wings and for my birthday. That's what I like, fried chicken wings. So, um, aside from that, that was it. I worked all day. I went fishing the day before and caught me a grinnell and cooked the grinnell that day because my birthday it rained all day the 18th. So that was Thursday, right? Yeah, it rained all day Thursday. That was why I didn't go ship them knives that day. How do I keep rats and mice at bay? Me and Brody get out there and have a rat killing in the chicken pen every now and then, but we've got a cat that hangs around. And other than that, the biggest issue is keep your grass cut. Oh, I see a lot of people and I've got plants around my house, some which I also have what we call rat guard. This metal comes down and sets on a lip and sets flat on it. So there's not little holes on all my tin at the bottom of it that the rats can go up in and get in the house. I put this, it's a piece, it comes down, it comes out, and then it angles down. And where it angles out, that tin sets down on it against the wall. They call it rat guard, and that helps a lot. But now that don't mean that it's foolproof. That these places a rat can get in there if he wants in there. But with the cat and all that helps. So I'm assuming the dogs probably help some too. But biggest thing is we keep the grass cut all the way around the house. So I mean, for them to get to the house, they got to come through the open parts of the yard. Well, Mr. James Adams, if you think my son is a spoiled brat, you're gone. All there is to that. Bye. You lose the privilege to comment. Plant tons of mint. Mice don't like the smell and stay away. Just sprinkle it. Oh, yeah, John, I didn't see that for a second right there. There's people like that don't have no idea about real life. I ain't here to please people. I am entertainment, but I'm not altering my life for your viewing pleasure. If you don't like it, there's plenty of other people out there that will be fake and ain't real. That's for people like you. You don't like real people, so and real life. What breed of dog is Roscoe? Roscoe is um probably I really don't know. Roscoe's a Sooner if you want to know the truth, but he's probably some Rat Terrier or Jack Russell. We call him a Feist, but it's really Feist is not a pure bloodline of dog. So I don't know. Uh, don't really know. He's Heinz 57. Yeah, that's about right, about right. Local Life, he's a star of the show. He is a celebrity around here. He gonna be signing autographs one of these days. Brody, Jennifer want to know how your day was. What'd you do today? He's gonna stand out there and go talking like you can hear him. Where is the cat? The cat stays away from me. I don't. We have a cat. I'm gonna be straight honest with you. I don't like cats. Now when I say I don't like cats, that don't mean I'm go around mistreating cats. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm just not a cat lover. I don't. I do. I don't. You know, if the cat comes up here, I'll pet the cat. Cat going. I don't want him walking around under my feet, yowling and all that stuff. I don't. I don't like that. I don't like to sit there and hold cats. I don't. I just. I don't. I got cat scratch fever one time. It clawed the inside. Little old kitten. I picked it up, and Roxanne, the dog we used to have, she was trying to get the cat. I mean, she was ferocious. She didn't like them neither. And the cat was a little bit wild. It was a real little kitten that just kind of come up here as a stray, and don't know where it come from. And I walked down there and it was under the shed, probably eating their food's probably what it was doing. And I just slipped up behind it and picked the cat up, keep her from she was sitting there just barking at it, trying to get it. And I picked it up. And whenever that thing realized I was holding it, it latched down on my finger. Well, out of instinct, I just slung it. And when I did that, it ripped this open right here. Well, it got infected. I poured peroxide or alky rub or something. I always squirt something in all cuts. I learned that from fooling with chickens. If a chicken spurs you, that's like poison. It's gonna get infected. Um, so I pour peroxide or alky rub or both in them. So I did that on this cut, but still, about a month later, it just wouldn't ever get well. It kept turning red. It's gone. That was a year or two ago. And that anyway, the it never would get well. Well, I finally got the running fever and didn't know that it was from the cut. I just knew I was sick, passing out on the roof, something wrong with me. They did a blood test, come back and said, "You got cat scratch fever. You got scratch fever." I said, "Yeah, right here on my finger." I didn't, this little bitty spot. It was well, I'd run 103 fever. I was miserable for about 3 days before I went to the doctor. And ever since then, I'm like, I ain't fun to cats. I mean, I'm not one of them people that's like, and I had put plantain on that thing, everything. It would not get well. So, anyway, the cat, we have a mutual agreement. He sleeps on the porch or on top of the buggy or on the Jeep or something. And he stays around, he'll bring us a rat up there on the porch, but he don't stay right here around me. And I don't mistreat him, but I don't. If he gets up there against my feet, I'll rake him out or I'll go scat now, and he'll cut out. Or she, I think it's a she actually. CDS. I sold a knife today that I had billed out. I've got two. Well, I had to that I had billed out, and they just never paid for them. Sent the invoice to them, and I mean, after they sit there and told me everything they wanted and all that, they just never paid the invoice. So finally, I just posted one of them for sale, and then I had somebody else got the other one, and so I don't know. Uh, I'm working towards putting a website up. I've been trying to do this for over a year, and I can't get ahead far enough to get any stock to put on the website. But that is probably what's going to happen to some unique stuff like this. I like building stuff like this. Just one of a kind, something I built one of, sell it, and then I get my mind on something else. Uh, so I'm gonna film some videos with this knife. I'm gonna film doing I don't know what with it, and then I'll probably eventually put it on a website for sale. So I've got to figure out what I've got to do to launch my website, and it's I don't really know. I've got it built, but I hadn't fooled with it in a while. I wanted to have like the Jonah knife and the Caleb knife on there as well, but they will only come once they go on the website. I won't do any more of, hey, I'm gonna build, everybody's gonna get to place an order and does everything they want. I want to do like, okay, it's gonna come with sapele wood or sycamore or black walnut, and that be it. And you pick which one of these you want. And those other wood, exotic woods, I'm running low on one of the things. Like some of it I only have just a little, like that rosewood, beautiful. I ain't got but a little bit of it left. Now I can order some more of that different stuff. Um, but I need to I need to simplify everything, and then I can grind out some blanks pretty easy and slap them together, build the sheaves, and if I'm doing them all the same way, I could put like 5 on there for sale where people could just come place an order, buy a knife, it would ship, and there wouldn't be no waiting on it. But what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to build some of my buoys, some one of a kind stuff that's more artwork, higher end knives, antler handled stuff. I've got some antler handles, and I've had some people inquire, are you going to do antler handles for orders? No, I don't want to do like you say, hey, I want to order a knife with antler handle. Then you get, well, this ain't exactly what I want. I don't want to do that. I want to do, um, the antler stuff, I want to just make it be like, here's this knife. You want to buy it? This is it. So, hey, what do you? Oh, I didn't know what he was doing. I thought he was killing my crepe myrtle back there. He ain't. Local live. Oh, I don't know if I can or not. Oh, it. I may can. Let me look. See. Oh, yeah, yeah, I can. I had to think for a minute. I can't do like 2 or 3 things at one time. There it is. CDS, I very seldom make a complete knife before it's paid for. Most of the time, I put everybody's name on a list and I don't take no money. I don't want no money till I got time to, hey, I'm fixing to build this knife. And I'll message that person on Facebook Messenger usually or email, and I'll say, hey, I'm to your name. Which one of these knives did you want? What handles you want on it? Okay, do you want a lanyard or liners under it? The lanyard and the liners add $10 for each of those options. And that basically just covers the material and the extra glue and time it takes to put it in there. $10 really ain't nothing on top of a $180 knife. So the Jonah knife runs $180 basic knife, 190 with a lanyard, 200 with everything, with the liners too. And the liners, it's all just for looks, really. I don't even like a lanyard on a knife. Some people love it. It's personal preference. So most of the time, once I message them and we work out all the details of whatever wood they want, I mean, they getting all these choices of whatever they want. Then I'll say, okay, I need an email address and I'll send a square invoice. And once that invoice is paid, I may have already ground the blade out, have the blank cut out, the blade ground, because I can sell it to anybody, just a blank. I can put any handle on it. Once they pay for it, then I put their handle and all that on there and finish the knife and build a sheath for it, right or left side, whichever they want, and send it to them. Well, for whatever reasons, every now and then, I'm waiting on them to pay, and I think, well, they're gonna pay, and I ain't got nothing to do. I'll go ahead and make it. Well, this week it was raining, and I needed to work. I mean, I didn't want to sit down there twiddling my thumbs. The problem is it takes too long to correspond with people. When I message people and they don't answer back right then, and it's, and I understand they're working. I ain't mad at them for it. Um, they working and they can't check their phones regularly or whatever. I get that. But it after you do that with two or three people and you take a day, well, you lose a whole day of profit, really and truly. So yeah, I want to get away from the orders. It's sort of a headache. Um, I don't mind doing them. The headaches have been a blessing as far as keeping me work to do. I mean, I can generally most of the time when I message somebody, they ready to pay for it. But this week I had to cancel one, and I let that pen once I send them an email, I'll leave that pending for about a week. If they don't pay it within a week, then I'm done. I mean, because I told them, hey, I need your email address. I'm finna send you an invoice. I send it that day. It may be an hour later. I may not have time or whatever to do it right that minute, especially if they message or, they responded back while I'm in town or, whatever. So, but after a week, they've had time to know that and check that email and know it was coming or say, hey, I never got an email from you. Did you not see? Because sometimes it'll go in the spam folder, your email. It's from Square. Square is very reputable. That's what we use to do money changing with because the other person don't have to have any certain app. They can just get on there with their debit card and pay it. It's safe. It's protected. It's FDIC stuff. I mean, it's like a bank. So I've had good luck with it. I've never had a problem with it. Donnie, I have made about 3 traditional hickory bows. I've got a Osage bow that I started and it got a crack in it, and I just put it up because I'm not experienced enough to finish it. I could probably figure out a way to beat it, but I'm not experienced enough to do that yet. Um, I'm going to eventually do some bow making, but I'm not Clay Hayes by any means. But yeah, I have done some. Anyway, driveway mechanic, yeah, that peopling can get you. I like people, but sometimes dealing with people, it's like this one on here tonight that everything ought to be catered to them, in the way they like it. They don't have enough sense to turn on something and watch it and go, I like this or I don't like it. Going by they think you ought to change to cater to them. And that ain't how the world works. And there's a lot of people that way. Other than that, I mean, as far as just people, I love people. I want to help people. The reason I do what I do is I like people. I like to talk to people. But I don't when people start rubbing me the wrong way, I don't have time for I'm not gonna argue with people. I'm not gonna argue about the Bible. I'm not gonna argue about politics. I don't even like politics. I stay way away from politics. That arguing with people is just senseless in my opinion. I can ghost you a whole lot easier than I can argue with you. If that makes sense. Robert Geddes said my wife wound up in the hospital for 3 weeks from a cat bite. Cat bites are nothing to wait on. Yeah, you could have died from that. I didn't know how serious it was. I mean, when I heard cat scratch fever, I immediately thought about the song I listened to went back in the 80s, cat scratch fever. I didn't know it was a real sickness. And I found out it is. Matt said, how about a story about how you come about getting Roscoe? Ah. Jennifer said, how does Brody feel about getting a year older? How you feel about getting a year older?
Great, great.
Great, great, great. So getting Roscoe, we raised a pit bull. We've had pit bulls since me and Michelle got married. That was the first dog we got was a pit bull named Rambo. Rambo was here about 3 years and he was a hog dog and loved to catch hogs. And we had wild pigs back here in the swamps, and he would go occasionally back there and get after them. And he just disappeared. Now I don't know if somebody stole Roscoe, if he went off and got killed by a pig. He come home cut all to pieces several times. And it was hog cuts where he'd got down there and got after him by himself, and he barely made it home. Um, so I don't know what happened to him, but I had puppies off of him, and I had got a female that I had bred Rambo to a female, and I got pick of the litter, and I got a female, and I was line breeding them. I had a litter of puppies, and I kept one of those puppies and named him Junior. And Junior we kept for about 8 years. And when we were building this house, I was in there working on a house, come in from work one day, and I knew Junior had heartworms. Right? They had gotten to the point that we could have killed the heartworms. I could have given him some ivermectin and killed the heartworms, but his heart, they had done got in his heart, and they would have killed him. Like, hey, don't be punching at him. Um, so we puppy. So we knew that Roscoe, I mean that Junior was time was limited. And I was here working on the house one day, one evening after work, and he come in, followed me all through the house when we was putting up tin under the carport. Brody, settle down. And I remember him going out the door because I walked around and talked to him. I was spending extra time with him because we knew we would not have him long. And that night I walked through the house telling him, "Oh, Junior, this is gonna be the living room and this is gonna be the bedroom." I just, and he walked out that front door. There wasn't even a door there, it was just an opening, and I was in here putting wood up on the wall. And when I went in the trailer, we still had a trailer out there we was living. I went in, I was like, "Well, where's Junior?" Cheryl said he never come in. And I was like, "Well, he was out, he left out here earlier. He always come in the house with me. Very seldom did he leave my side. He was about like Roscoe." And so we looked for him, didn't see him. I walked around everywhere calling him, nothing. And I had an old teepee put up down here in the edge of the woods out of that red tarp. And I went down there almost to it and called his name, couldn't find him. So I come up, we worked on the house 3 more days that we couldn't find him. I knew something had happened to him, but I didn't know what. Settle down. Settle down. You hear me? Look at me. Settle down. Um, but anyway, when I was working on the house and Lissy found him down there, she went looking for him and looked in that teepee, and he had went down there and got in that teepee and just laid down and passed away, died peacefully, I guess. Um, so at that point, when I was looking for this dog, when I was looking for him them 3 days, I asked my neighbor that owns all that land, the man that passed away a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I asked him, I said, "Have you seen my dog, my bulldog?" He said, "No." He said, "But now if you need a dog," he said, I got a little, said, "I got one finna have puppies any day now." And I said, "Well, I may want one." Well, in the process, we found my dog that Saturday. When we went to church Sunday, I asked him, I said, "Would you have them puppies?" I said, "My dog passed away." He said, "Yeah." I said, "They was born the other day." And said he said she had 3 or 4 of them. I don't remember. And I knew she was a little dog, a little fast dog, solid white. And so I told him, I said, "Well, I want one of them puppies." And he said, he said, "Well, come anytime." I said, "Well, let them get weaned off of mama, and I'll about 4, 5, 6 weeks, I'll come get one." So we waited 4, 5, 6 weeks. I mean, I was chomping at the bit to get one because I mean we was distraught. We had lost a dog that had slept in the house with us for 8 years. And I wanted a dog right then. I mean, I needed somebody to fill that empty void in our life. And I went and went up there to get that dog. Me and Michelle rode the buggy up there. and them puppies was under a gazebo out in the backyard. And I had to belly crawl up under there. Me and that man's granddaughter, she crawled in the other side. We was raking around in there. I finally got a hold to a couple of them puppies, and I wanted a male, and I got Roscoe. And he screamed and hollered. You'd have thought we was killing him. We armed him up, and we brought him to the house, and he screamed and screamed till over in the night. It was the worst thing in the world. And that was how we come about him. And I had decided I didn't want another bulldog. There was some bad things that had happened. I knew some people that had been bit by pit bulls, killed by pit bulls, and I just knew right now I don't really want another pit bull. Because I had my daughter that was a teenager at the time, and she was having a lot of company. I was like, I trust them, but you never know. If somebody comes up that they don't like, if they bite somebody, I'm responsible. So I just, didn't want to have to go through all that. And I never had no problems with any of my pit bulls. But I got Roscoe, and now every now and then I remind him about that gazebo. He wants to go back to that gazebo, live under it. But that is the story of how we come to get old Roscoe.
Oh,
9:01. Brody, it's time for us to quit. Suzanne, y'all got some sunny days down there. It is raining up here in the southeastern part, really all the way across the United States right now, the eastern half, from Texas all the way across. They've had a lot of bad weather up in Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, uh, Ohio, into Ohio. I've watched about a bad tornadoes the last few days. We here in Mississippi, uh, Louisiana, and I'm not sure if any in Texas or not, but probably on over into Alabama has got some extensive flooding. I know Mississippi's got a lot of flooding right now. Some of the places in southern Mississippi had 20 inches of rain in the last couple of days. So yeah, we know well about the rain right now. It finally cleared off late this evening and the sun started shining, but I don't know what's going to happen after this. So anyway, y'all, we fixing to shut it down for tonight. Brody, are you through? You ready to go in? Time to shut her down. We waterlogged right now. John said, yeah, but we do need to pray for him. How do you say your name? I am reading. Let me get my spectacles on. I've seen him commenting, her, him. I don't know. Zusclhz. How do we say this? Or what shall we call us, thou you? But anyway, good to see y'all tonight. I guess Brody run off. I thought he was going to finish this out with me. But Rhonda said raining now in Texas again. I figure we got rain for next week too. Speaking of fishing, I try to go fishing once a week. I don't think I did. I went this week. I went grown fishing this week, didn't I? Next week I may take the boat up to Tom Bigby. Zeus or Zeus? I'm hard. But anyway, thank you for joining with us tonight. Happy Elderly Father's Day. That's right. I am 45 years old now, due to a birthday this week. So anyway, y'all, we are. Oh, Craig Lee. Good. Well, thank you for joining in, every one of you. Hey, me and Brody have enjoyed it. And good riddance to those that don't like me and Brody. We don't care, do we? We don't care not one bit, do we? Sorry about your luck. Come here. Look, what's the best way to do things?
Is the way you like to do it.
We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one. Bye.
Uh,
Bash this X up here. Get up there in the top corner. We're up there. Now hit in.